Electrify Expo, I'm impressed with this event. You're doing 7 of them all over North America. Hats off to you guys.
So high level, it weighs 5,000 pounds and 1,500 of that is the battery itself. The battery is shoved in between the front and rear wheel as low as possible. So it actually has a pretty good center of gravity, and there's 4 motors in the back, there's 3 in the front. So naturally it's rear bias. You can see the motor is a little bit from the front there. The motors are essentially stacked, just in order. So in theory, you could just keep stacking, I guess, sort of like a rotary engine, if any of you guys are familiar with that.
Who's pumped here to go for a ride in a Mustang Mach-E?
Yeah,
all right.
1400.
Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where I find myself today here with the most amazing car and the most amazing person, Collette, who's going to tell us a little bit about this project, this rig, this car. Maybe a little bit about her. You got to follow her on YouTube if you don't. And what I'm personally curious about is, why has RTR partnered with Ford and pushed the envelope with respect to racing and intelligence, and how does that trickle down into the consumer products that you will be buying? Or right over here, we've got rides going on with the Mustang Mach-E GT. And so how does it all work? So thanks for joining. Let's get into it. So Collette, before we jump in, and my understanding is that I'm going to be putting some kind of a suit on and obviously a helmet.
Yes.
My number one wish is I hope I fit. I mean, look at the size of me, so I hope I fit in there.
You're gonna fit.
You're going to shoehorn me in there, but can you just do a quick tech walk around on this car?
Yeah.
I'm really curious what you can tell me about it.
And it's really cool setup. Inside here, they actually made it see-through. I'll move my helmet here. They made this see-through area on the inside of the vehicle so you can actually see some of that amazing tech that has been packed into this machine.
Oh wow, yeah, I see that. That's great. And I see it has the Mach-E pad in it still, and the dash. Wow.
Just in case you want to play some music.
So if I wanted to order one of these off Ford's website, is it available now?
No, it isn't. This one is a very, very special collaboration project. But the whole point of wild projects like this, throughout the history of automotive, they've used motorsport and advances in engineering that come from motorsport to put into the production vehicles. So this is really the perfect example of just how much you can push electric vehicles and the performance that they are capable of.
Yeah.
And all the things that Ford Performance is learning from this vehicle here is going to be transferred into the Lightning and the Mach-E that you'll see on the road and that you can get on dealerships as well.
What kind of a suspension is in this car? Is this a air suspension or is it a fixed?
It's fixed.
Fixed? Okay.
Yeah, and in the front here, you can actually see some of all the engineering that's gone on. This is a one-off vehicle, and in the front we have a quick change diff, same in the rear. So especially with electric vehicles, being able to change that differential ratio can exponentially change the torque that this vehicle can get. So I think currently at the setup that I'm running, I believe with the diff ratio, it's making over 12,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh,
so
boy.
From a performance standpoint, the customability and the limitless options that you can get from the motors, the power distribution, and the torque, it's pretty incredible.
That's incredible. All right, I think it's time to suit up. Let's go for a ride. It can go slow, we know that.
That's the slowest you're gonna see it.
All right, Collette's getting on in there. And I just need a helmet, and I hope I fit. Look at the seat here. It's a good thing I had a salad yesterday for lunch. That's all I'm saying. All right, it's time. I'm going in the car. I hope I fit. Here we go. All right, well, Collette, here we are strapped in. I am ready. We've got the GoPro over here. We've got a whole bunch of people over there. So
You ready to head over to our launch pad?
Yes, I am.
All right. So again, welcome to the Mustang Mach-E 1400.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
I am ready. Yes.
All right, 3, 2.
Wow. Holy smokes, and I'm not kidding.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
here we are.
Collette, you are amazing. Holy smokes. That was fantastic.
It's pretty crazy how
Pretty
easy it is
crazy.
for this thing to light the tires up.
What is this thing you kept hitting there? What is that?
My e-brake, my hydro.
Oh, the e-brake. Got it. Got it.
So
Well,
it's the hydro that just helps, get that weight turned around, because it is 5,000 pounds. So you really gotta initiate and then use this to help move it around.
right. Well, high five to you, girl. Thank you so much. What an amazing time. Nothing will top this. Thank you.
3, 2.
All right, so we've got a line of people here that are looking to get her into this amazing car. And these folks over here, I'm just curious, what do you think about A, this event, and B, that car over there? What are your thoughts? You go first.
Okay, well, personally, I think it's awesome. The event itself, everybody coming together, even the pre-event leading up to this, and then getting in that car, once in a lifetime experience. And I got to sit in the front seat.
Yes, absolutely. And you as well?
Yeah, we came down with the F-150 Northeast Lightning Club to be with Ford here at the Expo and got a chance to ride around in this thing. I thought my F-150 Lightning had a lot of torque. That thing is insane.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And now I know you say you're a little shy, but not around Out of Spec Dave, you know what I'm saying? I heard you say, Dad, that's what I want to do for a living, right?
That was pretty awesome, yeah.
What did you think about that ride?
Oh, it was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I felt the thrill. I was like, I want to do this. This is so
And
fun.
Colette, you know about her? The driver.
Seen her drive.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's terrific. But that's great. I appreciate all your thoughts, and just keep it at 55, no higher than that. All right, you know what I'm saying?
We got it all out.
All right. Yeah.
So here we've got Casper Vendershoot with us, one of the project leads on this beautiful Mustang. Not your ordinary Mustang you'd buy at a dealership, but Casper, I really would love to hear some of your thoughts from a technical standpoint. A couple of questions that folks out in the crowd that were waiting online for a ride, they were asking about battery size, also the battery type, and how you cool. Well, okay, I'll rephrase that. How you cool a car like this, the battery especially.
Sure. So this car, the Mustang Mach-E 1400, was designed as a performance demonstrator. It was developed with a specific purpose in mind to let people experience the thrill of electric vehicles. This specific vehicle has a front and rear powertrain, and they're fed by a common battery pack. It's a 56.8 kilowatt hour battery pack. That's a prototype battery pack. It fits in the same envelope as the production Mach-E, so it's located underneath the vehicle in between the front and rear axle. So 56.8 kilowatt hour battery. Doesn't sound like much, and the reason is because this battery cell was selected for its power density, whereas a battery cell that you would see in a production vehicle would be selected primarily for energy density. You want to contain as much possible energy in that cell. This particular battery cell was selected so it could provide a lot of power very quickly, to the extent that the battery cell on this entire battery pack was designed to discharge within 2 minutes time.
Wow.
And that was necessary in order to provide power to the front and rear motors that's combined produce 1400 horsepower.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, in between runs, what is the process that you go through to get the car prepped to get back out on the track on a day like today?
So our runs, as we do them here, they consist of about 9 or 10 runs in a 45-minute time span. And within that time span, we deplete about 60%, 60 to 65% of the energy capacity of the battery pack. So naturally, in between sessions, we need to recharge the battery. As we're discharging the battery pack, a lot of thermal energy is developed as well. And since we do not have a battery cooling system on the vehicle that's active when the vehicle operates, we have to extract that thermal energy as we are recharging the battery pack.
Interesting. Can you show me the machine that does that, just out of curiosity?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
So to my left, your right, this is our battery cooling system. It's a system that was specifically developed for this vehicle, for the Mustang Mach-E 1400, and designed to cool the battery pack while we're recharging the battery. Recharging of the battery takes place in less than an hour, and so within that same amount of time, we also need to cool what is essentially 1,500 pounds of metal, which is the battery pack. So that requires a significant amount of cooling energy, and it also explains why it wasn't practical to have a cooling system on the car that could keep the battery at temperature. So this is a proprietary system developed by RTR together with Ford Performance. And what's interesting about this system is that it is capable of pumping a huge volume of chilled dielectric fluid through the battery pack. And it does that by using 2 fixed displacement pumps. And where the real trick is in this, the battery pack can be seen as essentially an eggshell. It's not designed to withstand any significant amount of pressure or vacuum. So the challenge then comes in cycling all this fluid, this larger volume of fluid, through the battery pack without actually pressurizing the battery pack. And so for that we have 2 pumps. We have a feed pump on that side and a discharge pump on this side, and they work in synchronous. They work together, and the system is controlled by about half a dozen of pressure sensors that are located at various locations both on the vehicle and here in the battery cooling system. So in making sure that all those pressures are balanced, we use those 2 pumps to make sure they're in sync with each other. So if the pressure is slightly high, then we can slow down the feed pump or increase the rate of the discharge pump momentarily to balance the pressure out. And so altogether, we pump about 50 gallons of dielectric fluid through the battery pack per minute, each and every minute. And then on top, of the cooling cartridge, you see it here, is a chiller that has cooling coils that reach down in the reservoir of dielectric fluid to extract the thermal energy from the coolant as it came out of the battery pack.
Now I see the coolant is running from here into the car, and then I would imagine that's an intake and an outtake right there. Is that how that works?
So the intake is on the right side of the vehicle.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, and these are the outlets.
These are the outlets.
Yeah.
Okay, and then once you have fully charged the battery, and the battery has been cooled actively as you're charging it, do you leave any of that dielectric fluid in the battery pack, or is it dry?
That's a very good question. This is another reason why we chose for this system. After completion of the cooling cycle, we evacuate the dielectric fluids from the battery pack so that we don't have to carry 50 gallons of dielectric fluid around as the vehicle goes around the track.
So from a weight savings and what have you, and it's really not going to do anything anyway. And I'm curious, underneath the car, is it a solid plate, or do you leave any kind of air cooling? Is there any kind of methodology to air cooling underneath the battery pack? Like, you remember the old Nissan Leafs when they didn't have the active cooling systems built into them, or is this kind of a sealed bottom on the bottom of the battery pack?
There's no air cooling of any significance.
No air cooling. Okay.
Built into this system. So
all right.
Below the bottom of the battery pack, we have a carbon with Kevlar reinforced 1/4-inch thick layer to protect the battery in case we run over curves or things like that.
Right. And I'm just curious, what lessons have you learned from this project that have translated into the consumer side of the business at Ford?
So Ford has been very closely involved in the development of this vehicle, and also while the vehicle has been campaigned, Ford engineers have monitored very closely all the data that's produced with this vehicle as we use it for drifting or a road course or even on a drag strip. And they're taking on board all that knowledge and that experience in the development initially for other motorsports applications.
Right. What's great is some of the most famous people that have gotten a chance to drive this only one car, unique piece, they've actually signed their names, including, look at this right here, Jim Farley. How cool is that? All right, so listen, everybody thinks it's the driver and the engineers that run this show. You know what? I saw who's really in charge. Cameron out there, these two over here. Can you introduce yourselves from RTR, Team RTR, and what the heck do you guys do for a living?
I am Heather Holler, and I'm a freelance motorsport mechanic. So basically teams or people or whoever hired me to work on their race cars.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. What's been your most fun experience in your entire career?
Working in the WRC, I think. Yep, I worked for Hyundai.
Wow, very cool. And you, my friend?
My name's Derek Bosman. I'm the operations manager for RTR Vehicles, and I also moonlight as a sports car mechanic on the side. And my most fun experience has been able to travel the world chasing cars for the last 5 years.
Wow.
It's been pretty great.
That's great. So now, do either one of you have your own YouTube channels, or do you just...
Yeah, I just started. Yeah,
all right.
Hopefully, I got 3 in the queue to go up.
What's your YouTube channel? We got to promote it.
So, all of my social media platforms are at MISShift, MISS_shift.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to subscribe, and I want all of my subscribers to know. Look at these guys. How do they not understand we're having a conversation over here? I mean, look at all that noise. Well, listen, guys, seriously, great job out there.
Yeah.
This is an amazing team,
Thank
and
you.
We'll catch you at some point at another event.
We'll be.
All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Just out of curiosity, I don't know if you can talk about it, but what's next to push the envelope for you and your team?
Yes, so yeah, I'm not sure if I can say much about that.
All right, we'll talk offline over a beer later, you and I. But no, I appreciate that. And look, this is an amazing event. Thank you very much for coming out here, and Ford and RTR both spending the time. You know, it was amazing to me how, like clockwork, when the cars came in after the run, that the whole machine, your team was out there just changing it over for the next ride recipients. And I noticed it was what, every 3 or 4 runs you're changing tires too.
Yes, yeah, that goes quite quickly. So we change, and it depends a little bit on the surface.
This is coarse.
This is quite coarse. This is a pretty good equivalent to a cheese grater.
Yeah, that's right.
A set of rear tires lasts about 3 runs, and 1 run is 45 seconds. So and a set of front tires lasts about 5 runs.
All right. So one last question for you: who drives the truck? And if it's not you, what do you drive?
It's not me. The gentleman whose back is turned towards us.
Yeah.
Joe Usolino. He drives the truck.
Okay.
And my daily drive is a Ford Raptor.
Oh, nice. Okay, very cool. Well, listen, thank you very much for this. This is great. We appreciate you coming out. And Collette was amazing. I wasn't as scared as I thought I was going to be. I find that once I'm drifting, I get better. It's when it's hooked up and you're really on it and you're really carving the turns that I get that sort of queasy feeling. As soon as it lets loose, I feel comfortable.
Yeah, Dave, it's the initial acceleration that really gets your attention.
It's just insane. It's just insane. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. We'd like to thank Ford and RTI for I got the first ride of the day. I am truly honored. Collette, well, I don't know where she went, but thank you, Collette. You're an amazing driver. And you have just an amazing career going, so keep that going. And to the entire team here from RTR and Ford, thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care now.